Before we getting into this, first we need to know what is our main topic is. What is UI UX? UI UX come from two different words combined. UI stand for user interface, and UX is user experience. Even they sound the same, but the definition of each one is very different. Starting from user interface. Basically, UI is everything designed into an information device with which a person may interact with, such as screens, keyboards, a mouse, and the appearance of a desktop. Also, it is the way through which a user interacts with an application or a website. However, user experience design is a concept that has many dimensions, and it includes a bunch of different disciplines such as interaction design, information architecture, visual design, usability, and human-computer interaction. To make it more easier, UX is a concept of design how user will feel while using the interface. Now, if the ideas and concepts of UI UX still confuse you, let me give you an easy example of how these two work. User interface without user experience is like drawing a picture without any knowledge about composition, mood or color, and you just hope it will be great. User experience without user interface is a sculpture with a frame without anything to cover it, but it will define its purpose and usage. If this still confuse you, I have in the simplest description of what is UI UX according to Ken Norton, partner at Google Ventures, ex-product manager at Google. He said UX is focused on the user's journey to solve a problem. UI is focused on how a product surfaces look and function. Now, after you understanding the basic concept of UI UX, let's talk about design. We will use Apex as an example in this particular video. As you can see, this is a screenshot from Apex Legends game. All you see here is user interface, but remember, user interface is a part of user experience. All of the UI in the game have their own purpose. Using this one as an example, this giving player the idea of how the map is, which is the UX, and how it represent to us as UI or what we see in the game. Another example will be this. The main idea of this UX is to tell who is the jump master. In order to jump and choose the location of the team will land it, and they represent it through UI. Now, after understanding the basic idea of how UI UX work in game, let's get start to our main topic of this video. But first we need to know what is Apex. Apex is a team battle royale game. In each team have 3 players. Like others battle royale game, at the beginning of the match player need to jump and landing in an open world area. Each location will give random loots, but in all location will have a highly boost of change in looting tier, such as high loot tier zone. A hot zone is an area that will give 1 random gold loot. A hot zone area will have only place an entire map. Throughout the game, player may encounter other player team. After landing, player must survive. But we know there will be players who will struggle at the game, so we create a test. This test was created to help understanding what or where Apex player are struggling or good at, so we can decide what we can add, remove or improve based on data we have collected. Also, we want to see players' behavior in variety circumstance, in order to help us find and create new features. But we also know that there will be variety of players in Apex. We cannot use the same standard to all of our testers, so we classify our player into 3 main groups: apprentice tester, skill tester, and professional tester. Apprentice tester will have no idea of how to playing this game, or even they have it, they will not be good at it. Also, there will be 2 requirements for this group. 1. Player must play shooting FPS less than 3 months, and must not play Apex. Skill tester, however, will have basic control, movement, and skills due to others shooting FPS game. Also, they must play shooting FPS more than 1 year. For professional tester, this type of player is an expert in this game. They will know all of the basic to advanced movement, having highly skills of shooting FPS games, and there will be only 1 requirement: tester must enter any shooting FPS in order to be in this group. To know which tester suite which categorize, we asked 10 of our testers to do a pre and post questions for us. Next is the test section, which will be separated into 4 sections. Section 1. In this section, we will let players guessing how to play the game without any information given. This is to see what each tester are good or struggle at. In general, apprentice testers have a hard time on learning the game system and basic controlling. Also, due to lack of gaming experience, their reaction and decision on intensive circumstance is lacking. Many don't know what to start with. For skill tester, these group are at some point familiar with this kind of game, so their learning curve of fundamental stuff is quite fast compared to apprentice testers. However, they didn't pay attention to zone and ping system. Also, some players who don't have experience with actual FPS game, that have bullet delay, decoy or gun recall system, seem to have problem with getting to use to it. Training section. In this section, we will let players try the tutorial that the game provided to improve and help tester to get used to the fundamental elements of the game. The result is quite interesting, even they have an instructor and finish the tutorials. Some of apprentice testers still confused with the system, and for skill testers, after they try out they start to know what will suit them. They also get more idea of Apex system, and for the professional tester, since he already used to the game, this part will be skipped. Section 2. In this sections, players will get a chance to try the game and see the difference after they get the information from tutorial. Apprentice testers finish training section, we can clearly see that they have an improvement in all ways that training mode teach. One of significant improvement is that they start to stick with their teammate. For skill testers, they have done great job on improve their knowledge from the first section, and apply it in this section. They have faster loot, know how to pick item correctly, but while they have an intensive fighting, they seem to lost team formation, and cause them to lost. Also there's no communicate with teammate. Professional tester also skip this part, since there's no different with section 1. In this last section, we ask our testers to take off their headphone and use speaker instead. Not only that, we also ask them to watch video and eating snack if possible. Normally this would have an impact to every level of testers, however the degrees of impact are rise as tester level are more professional. Firstly, in group of our apprentice testers, it didn't have that much of an impact due they are still confused with the game, but the things that impact is when they are trying to win, they require more focus than other sections. Next is skill testers is quite a bit different, they still got more effect than apprentice testers, but they seem to be more happy and relaxed in this section. Before this section, most of the time they are at some point serious with the game, but when we force them to watching video and eating snack while playing, they seem to be happy and relaxed. They even satisfied when they are able to knock down enemy, even they died in the fight. However, even they are more relaxed and happy, it didn't mean they are getting better in game, most of them are dying faster than section 2. Lastly, professional tester is the one who got the most impact on this section. While these group are playing, they require serious amount of focus. They will have their ears and eyes open, ready to search and hunt down enemy, so that being said sound is one of the key factors for them. Without it they start to feel annoying. The most impact for the sound is when they are going to decided to push for the enemy, because they can't hear and tell their enemy location properly. We have picked few interest behavior from all of our test groups. All of these players have very outstanding behavior compared to other testers. Apprentice testers. We will use two of our testers as an example, AP06 and AP07. AP06 is the fastest learner compared to others testers in the same group. With only few games, she get used to basic control faster than others testers compare within her own group. She also have a good sense of where the enemy is, but still not enough. We can clearly see that after she finished the training section, her overall understanding of game are improving. However, she still have some unexpected reaction and questions from her.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Oh, สั้นก็ได้ยาวก็ดี okay.
AP07, on the other hand, she is the one who have no idea what this game is about.
ไปไหนอ่ะเอาเชียร์เล่นขอหน้าจออยู่
Also, she is the best example of how our Section 3 test really affect players. For skill tester we pick AP10. At some point he is familiar with shooting FPS games, also is one of our testers who play Apex before. The very interesting part start during section 3 when we open the video. We can clear notice that he is out of focus when we open the video compared to other sections. However, he seemed to satisfy with it, even his performance is dropping. After all sections, we analyze all the informations we have gathered so far, and summary all of it in the objectives analysis section. First is apprentice tester. In this group, testers can't able to finish their main objective that we have given, even their movement and understanding of game are improving after finished training section. So far testers can only knock down an enemy at most. This is due to their lacking of experience. As we mentioned before, even we have them play training mode, they still didn't get any kill. However, there's 10 that if we let them play 2-3 hours more, they will get a kills. Compared to their improvement rate after finished training section and in the late section 2 and 3, also in this test subject, we can clearly see that they are trying to avoid others players as much as possible. Some tester even avoid to help their teammate, which is the important part of the game. Next is skill tester. The result is quite interesting for this group. Most of skill tester did not achieve our objective as we thought. In this specific group, the game control and guns are mostly their problems. Most of them are not familiar with Apex movement, which goes for the reason that many of Apex movement and controlling is based on actual FPS game, that are different from Battle Royale game. But some parts of the test this group still confused about which guns, ammo, and mods should be picked. In this group only 2 testers have played Apex before, one with very little experience, while another have a bit more. In this 2 tester their movement and gun knowledge is quite outstanding. Other testers who didn't play Apex before, however, only the one that have more experience get 3 kills, which is the closest one to our objectives. Last professional tester. We only have one professional tester. He skipped our training section in section 2, but he is the only who complete almost all of our objective, except get 13 kills in one game, while another's objective he can easily complete it, due to high level of Apex, and other shooting FPS experience combined. The only real challenge that is working for him, is to get 13 kills in one game, which he said it was due to teammate system that he and his friends who he play together, have a same level of skill play, so that they have to compete to each other on getting kills. After we have read the feedback and watch replay and reaction of each tester, we came up with list of things we can improve to Apex Legends. For the training mode, according to information that we have collected so far, we have know that training mode is very useful to most of our testers, but it still lacks of many information and features that will help experienced player or new player to get better in this game. Right now, training mode is more like tutorial instead of training. Doesn't mean it is bad, but we can add more feature to fulfill their task in the future, and so on. First, add more game mechanic information to tutorial part. Second, add movement section. Third is aiming. Weapon rebalance. Even weapon in this game have been patched in almost every patch, but there's still a problem with it. We notice that Mozambique is a problem. Some of our testers hate this weapon, some even say it's better to remove it, because it useless compared to other low tier guns. For the improvement, first we can increase damage, second add choke or any mod to it. And here is what is our tester suggest to Apex. Make character become harder to kill and let player find enemy just a bit easier. When player is out of ammo, auto reload would increase game pacing. It's more friendly to non-shooting player. These are interesting comment and different from other tester, solo mode. At first we think this could be a great idea, but we decide not to put it in, because it will destroy the ping and revive mechanic, which is one of the reason that make Apex outstanding from others battle royale games. For the achievement at this point we can create new achievements, due to weird behavior from testers. For example, for the joke, if player looks at other character but too long, the achievement will somehow appear. Or maybe if player punch Bloodhound for 100 times while in training mode, they will get some weird collection. Over 40% choose Wraith as their startup character, then Octane, and Pathfinder. Another interesting point is most of testers who choose Wraith at first when they change, most of them choose Lifeline instead. We assume that because during training section is force tester to use Lifeline, so this make player more familiar with this character more than what they choose. We also know that the reason for our tester of choosing character is their characteristic, whether they are looking good or not. But for those who didn't, they mostly said it didn't match their playstyle.
ป่วยเอ้ยกูเกลียดปืนนี้โอ้
เห็นหน้าตัวเองออกกล้อง
ไม่จะมองพี่จัด
ก็ไม่เอาไม่อยากให้คนอื่นมองเลย
ยิงปิดตาเลยปิดตา
ไอ้เหี้ยชาเลนจ์ใหม่เหรอ
ฟังเสียงเขาอย่างเดียวเลย
อะไรวะโอ๊ยโอ๊ย
มันไม่ตรง
ทำไรอ่ะลิ
ตกมาเลย
ทำไร
ไอ้กูแค่ปิด
ต้องปิดเพลงเรา
อัดก่อน
พี่เวททำอะไรวะ
พูดไม่
จริงเหรอ
จริง
ไหนวะที่พูด
นี่ไงโอ้ยจะไปดีจะมันจะเที่ยไม่นี่ไงเวลาพูดใส่นี่ไง
จริงเหรอเราก็แบบเลเซอร์ทำไว้แบบให้ตาร้อนแล้ว
ไม่ใช่เลเซอร์ นี่มันอะไรก็ไม่รู้เว้ยใส่